Jorn, welcome. It's nice to have you here today.
Thank you very much, and I've instructed the Danish gods Thor and Odin to look after all of you for Christmas so you can have a real merry one.
Well, that's all we can. We need all the help we can get, that's for sure. Well, what do you want to start out with, Jorn? You want to start out with your mentoring class?
No, I just want to start out with a disappointment I have. The Palm Springs International Film Festival did not accept Shakespeare's Cat, which was a movie we did last year where we employed 70 people from the Valley producer. The actors, we had 40 actors and 40 people working on it, and it all was done here, so I'm disappointed about that.
Oh, well, that's a big disappointment for the actors as well, I'm sure.
It is, because they could certainly use it, and they worked very, very hard.
Yes.
But anyway, that's the way it goes. As far as my Power Mending Directing Academy, I've been lecturing in Japan and Germany, for students. I've been teaching them over there. So I thought I would do a directing course, because John Huston said, and I quote him, "If you want to know, I can teach you everything about film, from A, B, and C, everything about film in 3 days." And it is unnecessary.
Did he mean that?
Yeah,
he did.
He meant that. Because when you go to university, you go like that for 4 years. It costs you like $100,000, $125,000, and in this particular business, you don't need to go to university. It's much better to intern,
yes.
at a thing and learn the business.
And you are a great teacher.
Yeah, and then here I do this course, and I am targeting Japan, Germany, and China. As well as, of course, United States. I hired a publicity company and a marketing company in Los Angeles, and I got 10 lectures coming up, including Roland Emmerich, who's done Independence Day, Daredevil, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith the day after tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I have Fern Field, who is, an Oscar nominee, and also was the executive producer of Monk. And I have Kim Waltrip, who's done, as you know, several movies here.
Yes, she's a local gal as well.
And Steve Parker, which is a real famous DP, is coming up, as well as Jack McAdam, who is a worldwide production designer, who also is designing the studio I'm trying to build here.
Well, let's talk about the fact that when your course begins and where it's going to be held.
The course is going to be held at the California State University, Palm Springs campus, which is up on the Cook and
San Bernardino, Cal State University,
that's
San
correct.
Bernardino.
Yeah,
Got to correct you there. Yes,
yes,
it's
thank
in
you very much.
In Palm Desert, and it's 3 weeks, and it begins January 10th.
No, it doesn't. It's been changed.
It has.
It starts on February the 27th.
That's probably a better date anyway, really.
And then the next one will be March 27th. Happen to be the same days.
But the one starting on February 27th, is that going to be 3 weeks?
That's 3 weeks, yeah.
Are each of them going to be 3 weeks?
Each of them are going to be 3 weeks.
Okay. Let's talk about what happens at the conclusion of the program, because this is a pretty big deal for the students.
Yeah. First of all, they'll learn how to direct for stage, television, and motion pictures, and each of the student will do a movie. They'll write it, and we will produce it, so they can put it and use it on the bio and resume, or put it on the internet. Mm-hmm. And the winning film, the winning film will get $3,000. And film number 2 is $2,000, and film number 3 will get $1,000.
That's
and
good.
Then they'll get a certificate, and then they will be introduced to Hollywood filmmakers. As you know, I got 6 sons, and they've done 48 movies between them.
You've got your own studio within your family, Jorn.
The latest movie my son Kim did was Secretariat. And, which is just out. And another movie coming up, my other son Lars did, which was Water for the Elephant, with Reese Witherspoon, which is could be an Oscar winner because it's a New York Times bestseller. The story is fantastic.
Yes,
So unless he screws it up, they could have...
Oh, no, I doubt with a dad like you he's going to screw anything up. That's for sure. What's going on? Do you want to give a little more information about
you can look up on the internet, www, of course, powermentordirecting.com. And
www.powermentoring.com.
Power Mentor Directing.
All right, let's spell it out. POWERMENTOR.com.
No,
No, okay, all right. Well, we're really screwing
Well,
that up.
I only speak English on Sundays, so it's.
Well, I'm not helping you
Yeah,
here.
no,
All
but
right,
anyway,
say it again.
it's Power Mentor Directing.
Okay,
.com.
we
Okay.
got that.
Yeah.
Okay, they can also Google Jorn Winther and get there because
That's correct.
I've done that myself. And Jorn is Jorn Winther Winther. So you can find out everything you want to know about Jorn by Googling him.
And if you want to email me is JHW, that's my initials, J like in John, H like in house, W, at Power Mentor Directing.
Well, we're going to find you whether you want us to or not. So now, who did you work with early in your career? Who did you learn your trade from?
I learned it from Alfred Hitchcock and Billy Wilder. I interned on Rear Window
famous
with Alfred Hitchcock,
film.
and interned on Some Like It Hot with Billy Wilder.
My all-time favorite movie, and wasn't that named as one of the top films in the century or something like that?
Absolutely.
It won some extremely important
Yes.
award, and
Now,
you
Hitchcock,
were involved.
you know, Hitchcock was an editor. Him and his wife were editors, and when they got into movies. But I learned how to direct from him because he would find all the locations himself. Then he would bring the DP out, and then he would bring the audio out. Then he would put the actors into a room for a week, and then he would bring everybody together, and he would shoot 3-1.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And a lot of people don't know what that means.
Explain what that means.
That means that you have 3 takes in order to get one good one.
Yeah.
But for instance, Tom Cruise or Sean Penn, they'll hate me. Hopefully you don't hear that. That's like 48-1.
Yeah, yeah. Well, those were the good old days of
And
really great
Billy
directors.
Wilder, he was the same way. They just did so much homework and so much preparation. Billy Wilder liked to direct actors. Hitchcock didn't know how, but he said, it doesn't matter, you're going to hire the best. And he had Jimmy
And he
Stewart
did
and
it.
Grace Kelly.
That's right. Well, yeah, I want to mention something else about you, too, because I don't think you will. But mentoring is very important to you because you've been mentored yourself. And I just want to mention a couple of the actors and celebrities that you've mentored over time. Goldie Hawn, Vivica Fox, Paul Newman, Richard Pryor, Billy Crystal, Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Bob Hope, the Beatles, Joan Rivers, Sir David Frost, Barbara Walters, Elvis Presley, President Richard Nixon, and more. That's quite a list, Jorn. I hope you're proud of that.
Yes, it certainly was interesting.
Okay.
When
It
I was
doesn't necessarily mean you had fun with it.
when
but
I
it
was a kid in
interesting.
Denmark, my heroes were Shirley Temple and Louis Armstrong and John Wayne. And when I came to the United States from a small town in Aalborg, what I wanted to do was to become an actor. Then I discovered most people spoke English, so I became a producer-director. But I ended up working with all 3 of them. I directed Louis Armstrong on the Hollywood Palace. I worked with Shirley Temple, and I did John Wayne. So I ended up working with all 3 of them.
So you followed your dreams. But, the other thing that you do, too, and I've sat in on it, and I see how wonderful you are with these actors and upcoming actors. But you do an actors workshop. You do a series of actors workshops and working with young people and adults. And can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yes, it's just concluded. Everybody got a Merry Christmas. But we start again in January, new classes that start at February 7th. They can go to studiowinter.com and they'll see all the classes there. And we do it for children, and we do it for adults, and we do it for young teenagers, and we do it for seniors, and we also do a directing course.
Well,
and
that's
they're all
a lot
done
of
at the
fun.
University, California State.
At San Bernardino.
Yeah.
We gotta clarify that because there's 2 of them out there on
And the
Cook.
thing that's great about this, there is a woman from Germany called Victoria Goodwin. She is enormous talent. And you have Tristan, who's now a teacher at COD. He's as good as Robin Williams. And the main thing is that they shouldn't be here. They should be in Los Angeles.
Oh well,
But
let's not send them to Los Angeles. If they're here, we want to keep them here, and I'm
no,
sure
when
you.
you're here, you want them to be successful.
Well, yes, you do. I know you do. That's true. But let's hang on to them for a little while longer. What's going on with what film are you working on now? We talked about it once before,
That's
but
right.
how's that going?
I'm working on a film called Without Warning, which is written. It's a book written by an FBI agent called Herb Klug. And I raised half the money, and it's going to be done in Palm Springs. It's about a woman called Elaine Chadwick. It's 1979. It's a true story. She was kidnapped, and it's how they found the kidnappers. And she was a very bombastic lady, and it was how she kind of fought off the kidnappers herself by words, and talking to them and stuff like that, and helped to free herself.
I'm really looking forward to that
And I hope to get Anthony Hopkins in it, and Gina Rowlands and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, Jenna would be terrific
and
in
it
that.
will be done in Palm Springs, the whole thing.
Well, yes, and hopefully it'll make the International Film Festival when it's finished. We've got to keep hoping for that. That's for sure. We need all of that. Now, Jorn, give us a quick little overview about what you do in Denmark at Christmas time. If you were there right now, what would you be doing?
Yeah, we will be ready, of course, buying presents. And unfortunately, that is still the thing.
That's still the thing.
That's still the thing. And I had 6 children myself, So what we do in Denmark, we celebrate it the 24th in the evening. And it's you dance around the tree. You hold hands and dance around the tree. The tree has live candles on it.
And you're dancing around near the flame.
Yes, we do. And somehow nothing ever happened in this thing.
Why did the Danes do that?
I have no idea.
But
it was a tradition when I was a kid. That was it. And so we danced around the tree, sing psalms, and then we do the presents. And the worst part about the presents, since I had 6 children, was to sit all night putting all these freaking bicycles together.
I think everybody can commiserate with you on that.
The other thing is we had a dessert in Denmark. We eat goose, by the way. Then we had a dessert called Reiselemang, and in that you put an almond. And if you got the almond, you got a big prize. And my dad always got the almond first, but his wasn't peeled. So we always say, oh, your almond is not peeled. And my mother, because I was the youngest, always told me where it was. And since I was the youngest, she did that until I was 18.
And you got a special prize.
I got a special prize, yeah.
Well, I love all of these traditions, and each country has a different one. And of course, the tree came from Germany, and what I always wonder about too in Sweden, they wear the candles on their heads and sing carol songs. All the little girls,
do you know why
and they
Swedes
look beautiful.
do that?
No, I don't.
Because a Swede is Norwegian with his brain knocked out.
All right, now for all you Swedish and Norwegian people out there, just remember Jorn said this, and he's a Dane.
Do you know what the Swedes say about us?
What?
She said, being Danish is not a nationality, it's a disease.
Oh, all these terrible things that people say, but you have to laugh about it. So, okay, now let's get back to the mentoring, the director mentoring thing, because you're going to be doing this in different countries.
Yes. I start doing it here, but I'm not going to do it here in the summer.
Right.
The people from Japan and Germany is going to come here.
Right.
And they're going to live here, and I put them up in fabulous houses they don't pay for. The only thing they pay is transportation. We pay all their food, all their housing. And I rent houses, they're like $3,000 a month. So it's like beautiful houses with pools and stuff like that. I wanted to have a fantastic experience.
And this is going to happen with your first class here?
That's going to happen with the first class here. And so they'll get transportation. We give them local transportation. The only thing they have to pay is coming here.
Now, how long will their day last? Very quickly.
The day starts at 8 o'clock and finishes at 5.
Okay, that's a long day, but they've got all these perks. And you know what? We are out of time.
Okay.
But Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Jorn. I look forward to seeing you, and thanks for being here. This is a Jacqueline Bachar Show.